Hi, I'm Larry Del Rey, and I want to talk about something that I been putting off for quite some time. I'd like to preface it with some background first, and that is to say that when I was growing up, it was like most American families in the Northeast, say anyway, from European backgrounds, and that is the word love was came from a family of two adults and seven children, two parents and seven children. And the word love was never said in my house. I never remember hearing the word once growing up. However, that's the way most families were back then. And it's just a reflection of the European roots. And they expressed their love through duty and things like that. Also, another thing I'd like to say is that back in when I was 20 years old, that was back in the early 70s, the 1970s, and the idea of near-death experiences and that type of thing just wasn't common at that time. It hadn't really come out yet. It wasn't really being talked about. So, with that being said, when I was in my early 20s, I had a dream. It started with a dream, and the way it ended, though, was this. In my dream, I found myself in outer space, and there was a door there, and the door was, say, 3 foot by 3 foot, something like that, suspended in space, and found myself wondering if I should go through that door, because it felt like it was a big decision, and then there was like no turning back type thing, something like that. And I decided to go through the door. And when I went through the door, I found myself in the brightest, brightest light that anyone could ever imagine. And it wasn't irritating. It was wonderful. And the light was love. And the love was the light, and that's what I just kept saying to myself. I think I was saying it over and over again. The light is love. The light is love. I feel wonderful. And I did. I felt it was just fantastic. And the light was the love. They were both the same thing. They're inseparable. And in the middle of this, I suddenly realized. And it was behind, another thing is behind me, in front of me, it was just everywhere. And I looked down and I didn't see my body, and I panicked. And I just realized that if I stayed there, I was going to lose my body. And I panicked, and the next thing you know, there was this whooshing, sucking thing where it went whoosh, right back into my body again, and I woke up from that. And my heart racing and all that kind of stuff. And then I went to sleep, and I kind of blew it off. Really didn't think about it. And then about 10 years later, they were starting to talk about near-death experiences. And I was in a supermarket, and I saw one of those little books you get for 25 cents or 50 cents or something like that in the checkout line. And it was, and it talked about near-death experiences. I thought, I'm going to pick that up. So I bought it. And this is around 1986, 87, I guess. And I got home and I started reading it, and it had a number of stories of people that have had near-death experiences, and they talked about this light that was love, that was the same thing. And I realized then more of what would happen. Basically, I just didn't even, I was so blind back then that I didn't even realize the significance of what had happened. And then I realized, I said, wait a minute, I know exactly what these people were talking about. This must be important. And then in the following years, I got into the Course in Miracles. And in the Course in Miracles, Jesus says that, he's alert for the revelation readiness of his brothers, which are us, and that he can help bring down the Holy Spirit to people that are close. As far as I recall, that's how it said it. And then later I found out that this was the revelation of God that I had experienced. And you know, there are people I've seen on TV. I saw this one guy, this happened to him, and he spent the rest of his life going around speaking to people about it and such and trying to wake them up. And I'm thinking, well, gee, you know, here I am. I've never said anything to anybody about this, hardly. A few people. But I want to do my part and let you all know that this is a very real thing. I mean, it's probably more real than the body that you think you are right now. And God is there, and God is love, and God is light, and the love and the light are one. And I just wanted to be another person to say that that's true, and that I've experienced that. And I don't see how or why I deserved it. We all deserve it, and we all will experience it someday, some lifetime, what have you. And I just wanted to add my testimony to the others.